the forgotten empire of Tartaria. In 2019, the Notre Dame fire shocked the world. For some, it was a tragedy. For others, evidence of a cover-up. Conspiracy theorists claim it was Tartarian architecture deliberately destroyed. But what was the Tartarian Empire? A real civilization or a wild fantasy? Let's dive into this mysterious theory and uncover the truth. Historically, Tartary was a vague term used by Western Europeans and Russians for a region in Asia, covering Siberia, Central Asia, and parts of Afghanistan. By the 1800s, Russians saw it as a resource-rich frontier. The word Tartar meant barbarian and was loosely applied to diverse peoples. Today, only Crimean Tatars, an ethnic group in Crimea since the 12th century, still use the term. But conspiracy theorists have a very different story. Believers claim Tartaria was a global advanced civilization with stunning architecture, like the Great Pyramids, the Taj Mahal, and even the US Capitol. They argue this empire was erased from history through a series of mud floods, catastrophic events that buried its cities. Surviving buildings like Notre Dame or the Chicago Federal Building are said to be Tartarian, far older than history claims. Conspiracy theorists say world powers rewrote history to hide this empire, making ancient structures seem modern. They point to ornate buildings from world fairs, like San Francisco's Tower of Jewels, as Tartarian relics. But how could such a vast civilization vanish without a trace? The Tartaria theory exploded online in the last decade, fueled by social media. Believers formed tight-knit communities, bonding over shared skepticism of mainstream history. When Notre Dame burned, they cited its design as a Tartarian sound bath, reinforcing their narrative. Scholars note that conspiracy theories like Tartaria offer a sense of belonging. They also reflect distrust in institutions and nostalgia for grand, pre-modern architecture. But there's a darker side. Some see Tartaria as an elite civilization, destroyed by global powers, feeding into broader conspiracies about control and erasure. The modern Tartaria theory, popularized online around 2016, hinges on the mud flood idea. Believers point to buried basements, underground tunnels, and layered structures as evidence of a recent catastrophe, possibly in the 19th or 20th century. They claim photos of world fairs in Chicago or Paris show Tartarian capitals, not temporary exhibits. Some go further, alleging wars, fires, and pandemics, like the World Wars or the Great Chicago Fire, were orchestrated to erase Tartaria. They argue Tartarians were giants with advanced technology, building everything from Petra to the Great Wall, and that history's timeline is entirely wrong. In reality, Tartary was just a historical name for parts of Eurasia, used on maps until the 20th century. The Tatars were Turkic groups, not giants or technological masterminds. The conspiracy's roots trace to Russian professor Anatoly Fomenko, whose nationalist ideas inspired Great Tartaria as a symbol of Russian dominance. A CIA document mentioning Tartary is cited as proof, but it only references the historical region, not a lost empire. The Tartaria theory is a convoluted puzzle with no clear origin or evidence. No artifacts, art, or oral traditions support it. Only online speculation. It may reflect frustration with modern architecture's blandness or distrust in official histories. Tartaria captures a longing for a grander past, but its story is more about belief than fact. What do you think? Could Tartaria be real, or is it just a modern myth? Subscribe to SuppressedSpectrum for more hidden history. And let's keep questioning everything.